few minutes of our class are going to be interactive. Hello, hello. Get a notepad and a pen on your way in. So this camera is now not getting me for some reason. It's turned the other way. Hello, hello. Okay. All right. Get a notepad and a pen on your way in. Grab a notepad and a pen and come and grab a seat. So this camera is now not getting me for some reason. It's turned the other way. Hello, hello. Okay. All right. Get a notepad and a pen on. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here today. We do such a great job with that education and training. We had over 250 people between in this room and on Zoom already this week, the first week of the year, for Steve's awesome class on how to boost your production in your business and how to take your business to the next level, which was a great class. So if you don't have something to write on and something to write with, please get it, because I'm going to ask you to write a bunch of stuff down for the first 10 to 15 minutes. Courtesy of Lawyer's Title, there's tons of notepads and pens. Okay? What I'm going to ask you to do is going to change your life. Promise you. Okay? All right? If you're at home, get something to write with, get something to write on. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm Jeff Wyron. I'm your president and managing principal broker. I think most of you know who I am, but it's a pleasure to be here with you to kick off the new year. Could we ask for better weather? Oh. Who's going golfing after this meeting besides Steve and TJ? Okay. Yeah, I know, but don't you golf in the cold? I think you do. All right, so grab your pen because I'm going to ask you to start writing stuff down right now, starting with the first slide. Positive attitude. Write that down, please. A positive attitude. I'm going to elaborate on what I mean, but please write down positive attitude. Next slide. Write this down. Positive activity. Positive attitude, positive activity. Next slide. Put a big equal sign on your paper and write down positive outcomes. Positive attitude, positive activity equals positive outcomes. I'm going to expand on those things just a little bit. Next slide. Positive attitude means that you accept that you're in full control of your attitude. You can focus on the positive or you can focus on the negative. Sarah Johnson and I were just having a conversation about this, right? Now, not irritating positivity where you don't deal with the stuff that you have to deal with. That's not what I'm talking about. But I do mean this. When you leave your house and you get stuck in traffic, you're going to get wherever you're going to get at the same time. Whether you're pissed off about the traffic or whether you turn on an audiobook and listen to something positive, you're still going to show up at 2:15 p.m. instead of 2 o'clock if you hit traffic wrong. You can sit there and be mad about it the whole drive, or you can choose a different attitude about it. The outcome is going to be the same. Whatever you focus on in your life is what grows. Would you agree with that? If you focus on negativity, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get negativity. If you focus on positivity, what do you think you're going to get? If you compliment people, if you choose to see the good in people, if you choose to focus on the positive, they're going to make that choice for you as well. There is a business impact to this. There's a real life impact to it, but there absolutely is a business impact to it as well. The only two things that you control are your attitude and your activities. And I'm going to hit that again, but I'd like you to write that down, and I'd like you to circle this. You are in full control of your attitude. You are absolutely in 100% full control of your attitude. But you are not in full control of the outcome of any given situation. Agreed? All right, next slide, please. Positive activity. Here are some examples in your business of positive activities. Daily prospecting, inventory touring, and attending industry events like this. Sharpening your skills, right? Positive prospecting, inventory touring, and attending industry events like this, okay? I'm going to show you some examples of activities that I don't think are as positive as well, but those are some good ones. Personal, prayer, meditation, spending a little bit of time centering yourself, realizing that you're not the biggest thing in the world and that you matter about this much in the cosmic realm, right? Not to be negative, but to put yourself in perspective. Exercise, reading, doing things that improve you. Okay? Financial, budgeting, saving, planning. These are positive things you can be doing. How many of you know that you have quarterly tax payments due on the 15th? How many of you have money in your savings accounts to pay those quarterly taxes? Good for you. I wrote my check yesterday. No big deal. $16,000 going to 3 different governmental entities and just wrote it out, paid it. The money's there. Okay? That came through budgeting. It came through saving. It came through planning. These are positive activities. Now, we get bombarded with stimulus and information all day long. We get bombarded in this industry with people telling us what we should do, what we should spend our money on, okay? The reason I wanted to present this today and put it like I'm putting it in black and white is because at the end of the day, this is the simple stuff that's the most meaningful. Do a budget if you don't have one. Save your money. Plan ahead. It sounds oversimplified, but the overly complex stuff that people are trying to sell us on a daily basis is usually crap. And at the end of the day, this is what matters. If you have a simple budget for your home and business, if you save your money and you just plan ahead a little bit, you're going to be wealthy. You're going to be in a much better position than you would be otherwise. Okay? There's nothing you can purchase that replaces any of this. Would you agree? Okay. Here's some examples, next slide, please, of what to avoid. Wasting time on social media. Fair? How many of you spent an hour so far today in your CRM? Good for you. How many of you have spent an hour today on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, or one of those other things? Okay, you're lying. I know, most of you are lying. Okay, right? But I'm trying to make the point. If you don't spend an hour a day in your CRM doing something good for your business, and you divert quickly to, I hop into the office or I get up and I'm in my home office or whatever, and my first default is I'm easily distracted by what's happening on social media, instead of getting into Bold Trail and calling a few people and trying to organize maybe some automated messages to go out to the people in my sphere of influence or whatever, you're misdirected. You're spending time on what you should avoid instead of the positive activities that you should embrace. Wasting time on politics. Can I ask you an honest question? Do you think anybody in the world besides you cares how you feel about Joe Biden or Donald Trump? They don't. I can promise you that. I went to a listing appointment on Monday of this week. A serious question from the seller of that property. It was an expired listing from the previous agent last year. The serious question at the end of the appointment, everything was great, lots of good back and forth. I said, hey, are there any other questions that you have that I haven't answered for you? Which is what I usually do. The wife looks at me and she says, do you post political comments on your social media accounts? I said, why, as a matter of fact, I do not, and you can check me out. You'll see pictures of my kids, okay? Nobody cares. Don't waste time on it. Watching TV, Netflix or whatever. I'm not saying never watch TV, I like before bed to sit with my beautiful wife and watch a few shows or a show before we go to bed. But you shouldn't be doing it all the time. And I think we as a society, by and large, spend a lot of our time here, don't you? If you know more about the cast of characters on Bridgerton than you know about your A-plus clients, then I am demonstrating to you what you should avoid and the positive activities that you should embrace. You should know more about the A-plus clients in your sphere of influence than you do about, I don't know, pick a show on Netflix. Bridgerton was just the example I came up with, right? Doesn't matter. If you know more about the statistics of the fantasy football team that you've created than you do about your own business and what your original list price to your sold price ratio is compared to the market and what your market time is for your listings compared to every other realtor that you're competing with when you go on a listing appointment, you might be spending a little bit too much time on things you should avoid and a little less time than you should be spending on the positive activities that will help you in your business. Would you agree? Just a little dose of reality for all of us. I'm not standing in front of you as a saint. I'm just as much of a sinner as all of you are. But we have to talk about it from time to time, don't we? Okay, next slide. Positive outcomes. The only way to have positive outcome is to either get lucky or to influence that outcome by your positive attitude and your positive activities. Here's a phrase I'd like you to write down. You only control your attitude and your activities. The only thing you are in full control of is your attitude and your activities. You certainly can influence the outcome in any given situation in your life and in your life organically as a whole, but you don't control it. And if you don't believe me, look at your family. Look at your kids. As soon as they become adults and go hog wild out there in the world, you see that loud and clear. You don't control the outcome. You just don't. Not that you can't have a positive influence on it by what you choose to do and what you choose to think and embrace it with. You absolutely can positively influence the outcomes in your life, but you don't fully control them. The only thing you fully control is your attitude and your activities. I'm going to ask you again to write that down because I think it's meaningful and important. Next slide, please. So now what I really wanted you to have the paper for. The goal for 2025. We have a staff huddle every Monday morning, and we always ask somebody on our staff to put a good thought starter out there for us to talk about. Okay? You need to know as an agent that we have a very comprehensive and cohesive staff of a little over 40 people. We care about you. We want to serve you. We're here to help you grow your business and succeed. But we care about each other. And we want to work well with each other. And we want to motivate and encourage each other. So that staff huddle gives us a nice opportunity to do that. And the thought starter for this first staff huddle of the new year was, what's your biggest goal for 2025? Can I tell you what mine was? To make a lot of money. Without shame, I want to make a lot of money this year, right? At the end of the day, don't you too? I hope so, okay? I know I do. So I'm going to ask you to write down what your net income goal for 2025 is. And if you haven't thought about it, I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Think about the net income goal. How much money do you want to take home? Not how much do I want to make? How much money do I want to take home? I've got to pay bills. I've got to pay people on my team. I've got to pay for RMLS and PMAR and all of the other stuff. Yep. How much money do I want to take home? Think about it. Write that number down. And if you haven't pre-planned it, that's fine. Target what you think and write something down right now. Please write a number down. Everybody good? Next thing I want you to write down, and I want you to think seriously about, There's lots of things that you're going to do with that money, right? And I'm not talking about pay my mortgage, eat food, buy some clothing, right? I'm not talking about the necessities, because of course you got to plan for the necessities. I'm talking about the things that you want to do beyond that. What, if you achieve your net income goal, what is the biggest opportunity that that income goal is going to help you provide to do? And I'll give you an example and I'll tell you mine. My net income goal this year is $478,000. What the biggest thing that I'm going to do with that net income goal, I'm going to help my kid pay for college. I'm going to help my youngest pay for college. I'm going to help my oldest pay for his wedding, but I'm going to put $100,000 in my retirement account this year. That's my biggest thing. That's my goal. That's my biggest thing. That's what I'm asking you to write down right now. What's your net income goal? And what's the biggest thing you're going to do with that money if you hit it? Write it down. Take a minute. Okay? Last thing. Write down at least one positive action that you're willing to take in order to hit that goal. What are you willing to do? One thing that you think will be the most impactful that's going to help you get that goal. If you want me to help you cheat, I'll give you mine. Call 5 people every day and talk to them about real estate. No joke. You can write down whatever else you want. You don't have to use that. But if you don't have anything to write down, write this down. Call 5 people every day and talk to them about real estate. I don't care if you have a team that sells $150 million a year. I don't care if you're brand new and you haven't sold a house yet, or if you're a good producer and you bang out 10 to 15 million a year. This applies to everybody that I just referenced. If you have a mega team and you call 5 people and talk to them about real estate, your mega team is going to sell more real estate because you're going to do it and all of the people that work on your team are going to do it. And you're not just going to be calling 5 people a day. Between you and your 8 people, you're going to be calling 40 people a day. And you're going to sell some serious real estate if they're good and they know how to talk to people and they can get some appointments and you can close them, right? And if it's just you and you're just starting out and you don't know what to say, that's still a good goal because you can talk to your mentor and they'll help you with what to say, won't they? Right? And if you sold 10 million this year and your net income goal requires you to sell 15 million this year and you want to bridge that $5 million production gap, the way to do that, call 5 people a day and talk to them about real estate. It'll sure help you. Okay? Now, I'm not insisting that you write that down. You might have your own stuff and that's fine. But I'm trying to make a point. Without positive action, you're not going to hit it. Right? And everybody says that money can't buy you happiness. I say, let's try. Right? Now, money seriously won't buy you spiritual fulfillment. It won't buy you good health. It won't buy you any of those things. And people sacrifice a lot of the really good stuff in life for money. But I can tell you this, because I've been on both sides of the financial picture. If I'm having a crappy day, but I have money in my bank account, that's a less crappy day than a crappy day in which I don't have money in my bank account. And that's a fact, right? So, all right, next slide. The reason I spent so much time talking about activities is because an unwritten goal is merely a wish. Do you agree with me? If you have something in your mind that you want to do and you don't write it down, you have just wished that. And that's a great start. But if you write it down, it's a goal. A written goal without action is just an intention. You just stated what you wanted to do, and that's great. But if you don't put some action steps along with that goal, you're probably not going to achieve it. Okay? The other thing about putting action steps with your goals is it helps you to be smart. Anybody heard that acronym about goals? The SMART acronym? specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, that's a SMART goal. You write down a goal with no action steps, you have an intention. You need to write down some action steps. And those action steps will help you to be smart about it. Well, my goal is this. Well, that's not going to be possible this year. In all of my years of coaching people in real estate, I cannot tell you how many times somebody has walked in for a session and said, I want to hit 100,000, I want to hit 200,000 or whatever in gross commission income. Great. What did you do last year? 50. Okie doke. You want to double your gross income. Sounds awesome. What are you planning to do differently this year than you did last year to double your income? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. It's an honest conversation. And I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm not trying to be demeaning to the people I've had those conversations with. We've all been there. But this is my point. Set your target. Set your net income goal of what you want to make with the biggest and best thing you can do financially for yourself or your family if you achieve it. And the reason that's so important is because you're going to have a bad day at some point this year. It's coming if it hasn't happened already. You're going to feel sick. You're going to have a transaction terminate. You're going to have somebody who sends you a letter from an attorney. All of that stuff may be happening on the same day, right? And if you don't know why you want to make the money you want to make, what I know is that you'll crawl back into your cave and not make any phone calls and not do the activities when you're having a bad day, because that's human nature. But if you know what that money is going to do for you, and the desire for that outcome is greater than the crappy feeling you have that morning, even if you've got a cold and a sore throat and somebody just terminated and told you you're a horrible agent, you'll still put on a smiley face and call 5 people that day. If the motivation to do what you want to do with that money is greater than the impending feeling of gloom from all the negative stuff that just happens in life, you'll make the phone calls. You'll do the activities. That's why you need to know. Okay? All right. Next slide. Thank you. Was that helpful for you? Great. Now on to some company updates. So, referral rewards program. How many of you know that we have a referral rewards program? Great. That's good. 90% of the room-ish. You don't know that we have a referral rewards program. TJ, please raise your hand. Actually, TJ, stand up and jump around a little bit for us, just because. There you go. That's the guy to talk to if you don't know that we have a referral rewards program or how it works. But last month, in November and December, we gave back over $160,000 to you for helping to recruit and retain the best agents in the business. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was a freaking anemic round of applause. Can we do that again? Yeah. Great job. Next slide, please. Okay, you are realtors. If you work at PPG, you're realtors. I promise I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. I'm just going to tell you that you got an association dues bill. If you didn't pay it and you don't pay it by the end of January, I think, somebody from the real estate association is going to come to your house at 2 o'clock in the morning with a pit bull and a lead pipe. Joking. But they will terminate your membership. And that unfortunately means that you won't be able to be a realtor at PPG. And that would be unfortunate for you. So don't be in that situation. Pay your dues. You all have got a dues invoice. If you haven't paid it yet, you need to pay them. Okay? So if you don't pay them, I think by the end of January to February, depending upon your association, the date is different for each one, they're going to terminate your membership. There is always a reinstatement fee. There is always a penalty for not paying your dues. So please pay your dues, pay them on time. If you don't know, or if you didn't get the invoice, or you're not sure what the heck I'm talking about, let us know, we'll help you, or call your local association, they'll help you. Next slide, please. I want to welcome all of the new agents that joined us since November. If you are a new agent who joined us since the month of November and you are here, please stand up. There's at least a couple of you. You are in good company, as you can see. Look at that long list of people that joined us over just 2 months of agents joining us. This is more people than work at the average size real estate brokerage in this country in 2 months that have joined PPG. So welcome. We're thrilled to have you here, and we're excited to have you start utilizing our resources and for us to be able to interact with you as we get into 2025. Next slide, please. We have some 1-year milestones. If your name is on this list and you are one of those people celebrating your first full year or your 5th year with PPG, please stand up. Anybody in the room? No. Stand up. All right, stand up. Yeah. And I'm sure we have a lot of people online as well. Next slide, please. Some years of service, January miles. So these are for January. So if your name is on this list in the month of January, you're celebrating your 1 or 5-year anniversary with PPG, please stand up. Can't read it, can you? How about everybody stand up and just clap, just because? All right. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people online that are celebrating. Next slide, please. Danny Dugan, who's not here today, but she's probably online, just celebrated 10 years with PPG. Congratulations, Danny. Next slide, please. Elizabeth Wilkerson just celebrated her 10 years with PPG. Elizabeth, congratulations to you. If you're in the room, please stand up. Next slide. Christina Horning just celebrated 10 years with PPG. Congratulations, Christina. Next slide. Tom Guile, 10 years already with Tom Guile. Congratulations to Tom Guile. I think it's time to update your headshot, Tom. Vince Onstad, congratulations, 10 years with PPG. Next slide. Amanda Borgaro, 10 years with PPG. That's not possible. Amanda must have started with us when she was 15. That's crazy. And David Carlson, Sunnyside office, 10 years with PPG. Congratulations, David. Kristen Gillis, 10 years with PPG. Long list. Are there more? All right, Patty Freitas. Congratulations, Patty. I know she's probably up in Vancouver. And Beverly Lutz, congratulations, 10 years with PPG. And that's it. But isn't it great to have so many people celebrating their 10-year anniversary with PPG? We have a lot of people that are decadarians. Is that what we would call them? 10 years plus with PPG. We're proud of that. TJ already stood up. Stand up again. TJ is our State Director of Recruiting here in Oregon. If you know of somebody who you think would be a great fit for joining us at PPG, the best compliment you can ever give us is a referral to a friend or family member, right? Don't you use that line in your own business? We sure use it here. TJ is the one that can help you close them. So if you have somebody you're thinking of recruiting to join us, please talk to TJ. We'll help you get them closed. Next slide. Okay, we have some education stuff happening, but here's a recap of 2024. We taught 106 classes in Oregon in 2024 for a total of 166 hours of CE. We gave out 1,650 hours of CE credit to people either in Zoom, over Zoom or in person. A total number of classes that were taken out of our education platform. How many of you have been on our education platform? Great. It's pretty cool, isn't it? 4,110 classes were taken last year on our education platform. That is awesome. Total number of classes that we added to the platform last year were 69 classes, 52 in Oregon and 17 in Washington. Lisa B, please stand up. Rachel, please stand up. I know you're on the computer, but whatever. This is our education team here in Oregon. Don't you agree with me that they're killing it for us? I think they're doing a great job. Next slide, please. Save the date for our Oregon Education Summit. How many of you have come to the summit in the past? This will be our 3rd one, by the way, 3rd annual, okay? If you haven't come, please save the date. We will make sure through PPG Connect that you get lots of information about how to sign up for the Education Summit. But mark the date down for February 21st. It'll be at, April 21st. Yep. Yeah, whatever. 21st month of the year, that's okay. 4/21/25, that's the date. Put it on your calendar. We'll make sure that you get plenty of opportunities to sign up and register for it. We've always packed the house. We always have great content. We have some really cool stuff I know that we're working on already. Don't we, Lisa? Yeah, we do. Great. Next slide. Quarterly production masterminds. As many of you know, last year we implemented some quarterly production masterminds, meaning we've broken you down by the level of production to put you in a room full of people who are producing at that same level so that what you talk about is relevant to each of you, right? If you are a new agent and you've sold one house, you probably don't need to spend an hour and a half talking about how to hire a buyer's agent quite yet, right? Flip side of that, if you're banging out 30 million a year and you've hired your second buyer's agent, you probably don't need to sit around and talk about prospecting scripts, okay? So we broke this down and said we can recognize that people are in different places in their business, and we want to give you an opportunity to talk to each other and to share some best practices and ideas and concepts to help each of you move your business forward. So our premier circle are those of you that have sold between 0 and 6 million. That meeting is going to be on March 11th from 1 to 2:30 at the Sunnyside office with Greg Whistler as your host, right? Circle of Excellence, those of you that have sold between 6 and 10 million. That meeting is going to be at the West Portland office on March 12th with Cheryl Thong as your guide for that. And for those of you that have sold 10 million or more, that's the Platinum and President Circle, and that's going to be on March 13th at the Lake Oswego office with Steve Nassar and myself as your guides for that. So all of these, I believe, are on our calendar. You can sign up for those. If they're not there yet, they will be, but make note of the date. We'd love to have you. We've had great attendance for that. I'm telling you, if you want to take your business to the next level, this is an opportunity for you to do it. This is one of those positive activities that you could do. Okay, next slide. We have a LARC classes coming up in 2025 on February 20th and on July 10th. I'm going to put a QR code up here in a few slides, which will take you to our training calendar. You don't have to write these dates down. If you need LARC this year because your license is renewing, we're going to give you 2 opportunities to take it. Okay, next slide. We're also going to give you 2 opportunities to take Code of Ethics because you all probably need that, right? We're starting a brand new triennial. You'll be an overachiever if you take it in year 1 of the 3 years that you have to take it. We're going to offer it to you twice. Those are the dates. Next slide, please. We have some other classes that you won't want to miss, and as promised, that's the QR code. If you take out your phone right now, and if you're me, and my son had to explain it to me, when I said, where's the QR code scanner? And he said, Dad, it's your camera on your phone. Okay. All right. Take a picture of the QR code. It'll take you to our calendar where you can sign up for any of these classes. We have Real Estate Systems, Finance, and Technologies. That's 2 hours of CEs. The Law of Trees, which I'm super excited about. That's going to be a great class. That's an hour of CE. We have 11 strategies to making a non-contingent offer. Working with sellers. We always teach SkySlope and DigiSign. This will be a great one for you to attend this month. Working with buyers, and then business by referral. So a lot of great content, a lot of CE opportunities for you. Scan that QR code, go to our calendar, sign up for whatever you'd like to. Next slide, please. I do want to recap really quickly. Steve, you want to stand up really quick and just hit for us what your takeaway was from your class that you taught? I don't know if this mic works, but let's try it. Okay. Yeah, it works.
Hi, everyone. Well, as I said a couple days ago, I've done a lot of teaching and classes and various events over the years. And
yeah, it's all right. They can hear. They'll hear you.
oh,
There you go. Use that. Mildly awkward.
As I said a couple days ago, I've done a lot of classes, teaching, podcasts, you name it, over the years, but this is by far and away my favorite. I really appreciate that it allowed it's something I'm uniquely qualified for because I've been through all those levels and I've been through them in a rapid fashion, about 12 years. It applies to everyone with a real estate license who's actively selling. There's no one it doesn't apply to because I speak to everyone at every volume level and what they should be doing to go up from there. And then also it's just a fun journey for me down memory lane because I got to think back every step of my journey and what I was doing at that time. We do have a full recording of this class. I don't think it's been released yet, but very close. Within days, it will be released. And I actually was thinking about it. We should send it out just as an announcement to the entire company, in addition to the people that are asking for it and social media and a couple other ways. It was these guys are absolute pros. I can't say enough about these two right here in the front, and just the quality of I mean, we do great quality education, but we also have quality technology, and it's a powerful marriage between the two. And so it's cool to have that in forever immortalized, that we can use and share with you guys. So those of you who weren't there and you've heard good things, don't worry, you can watch it. If you have friends at other brokerages, share it with them. If you have friends, wherever, I think it's a powerful, powerful class. I think if you ask anyone that was there, they'll share that with you. There was also a great introductory class that I think you should also watch, about video, social media, and big things you can do there. So thanks.
Yeah, I recognize the effort that Steve put into preparing that class, and I agree 100%. Whatever level your business is at, if you want to get to the next level, it's a good roadmap on how to do that. So thanks again, Steve. We will make sure that that's available on our PPG education platform. That is a great class for you to share with agents who might not be at our brokerage, and not only just for the recruiting opportunity that might create for you, but to help them in their own business. Not every brokerage has the opportunities that we have to really help promote and elevate people. So take advantage of that. Next slide, please. Okay, I do have I have to announce a few retirements that came at the end of December for us, with a little bit of sadness, but with excitement for the people who are retiring. Mike Creighton retired at the end of December. And I know Mike is online. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to Mike for all of his hard work over the years. For those of you who know Mike, you know that you could call him anytime, that he deeply cared about whatever you were going through, and he was always willing to help you, and he really took on your issues as if they were his own, and really, worked to help you. For those of you who didn't know Mike, he's a great guy, right? We have transitioned all of the agents that were with Mike onto members of our reviewing broker team, of which we have a fantastic reviewing broker team. So you're all getting great service through the other members of our team. But we will miss you, Mike. I know you're online. Thank you so much for all of your years of service to PPG. One more time for Mike. Next slide. I also am announcing the retirement of Ron Schock out of our Yamhill County office. So Ron has been in the industry for many years and is a great leader in the Yamhill County area. And what I've said about Ron and Mike is, how many of you played the game of life when you were kids, right? The little dial with the little people, and you could put little blue or pink babies in your car and drag them around. They won the game of life. Don't we all want to get to a point where we can retire, right? Congratulations to Mike. Congratulations to Ron. We are going to have a celebration for Ron at our Yamhill County office on January 28th. From 4 to 6 p.m. You're all invited. Doesn't matter whether you work out of the Yamhill County office or not. Every agent at the company is invited to attend to honor Ron and to say thank you to Ron. I'm not sure if Ron is online, but Ron, I want to say thank you for all of your years of dedication and service, not just to PPG, but to the industry at large. We're a better industry because of both Ron and Mike. So let's hear it one more time for Ron. Next slide, please. And we get to welcome back to the team, Don Johnson. Stand up, Don, dance around a little bit. So Don has been on our reviewing broker team in the past. And so a couple of years ago, when we had a dramatic drop off in volume, the last one in was the first one out when we needed to adjust our reviewing broker staff to account for the actual volume. But now Don is back. He's taken over Ron's desk. And it was a commitment that I made to Don when we did have to make that change, to say, if we have another opportunity, we'd like you to be the first one to consider it. And we're so honored and glad that you were able to do that for us. We know you're going to do a great job, because you already are and you already have, and we're happy to have you back on the team. So thanks again to Don. Next slide, please. All right. Troutdale office. How many of you know that we now have a Troutdale office? Yeah. You now know we have a Troutdale office. So Karen Croston and Rod Barker are our anchor agents. Both of them have been heavily involved over the years in association leadership at the local and state level with East Metro and with Oregon State, and even nationally. Karen, in fact, is currently the president for the East Metro Association of Realtors. Rod has been an instructor in the industry. He's a past attorney. They're just wonderful people. Not only are they nice people, but they're extremely great professionals, and it is an honor to have them at PPG and to bring their Mount Hood Realty Company as an anchor agent office to Premier Property Group and turn that Mount Hood Realty into Premier Property Group Troutdale. We will have a grand opening on January 30th from 3 to 6. We'll have lavish prizes, lots of booze, and tons of food, so come and join us. Did I sell that well enough, Lisa? Okay, all right, great. All right, next slide, please. When you say special chocolate cheesecakes, what do you? It's Troutdale kind of good, huh? Okay. All right, Lisa, I'm just teasing. Okay. We've been working over this last 6 months to a year to really dive in and offer some new opportunities for those that are with us that sell commercial real estate. We have a required commercial mentorship program, and Greg are going to talk about that. But this last year, we asked Greg Whistler to really be our reviewing broker who helps us focus on commercial real estate. We asked Greg Goodenough to step in and help lead our commercial team as the commercial office director. And don't be fooled by Greg's last name. Greg is way more than good enough. That is always my favorite joke. But I would like the Gregs to come up and talk with us a little bit about what we're doing with commercial real estate. You're going to have to share this microphone because
you can use that.
Yeah,
We do.
okay. Yeah,
Or you can both stand in front.
whatever. Use that one. Use that one.
All right, what do you want to do? Actually, before we get started talking about commercial, I want to challenge all of you that listened to Jeff's motivational moment at the beginning of this thing. He's going to call every single one of you during the course of this year to thank you for renewing your contract with the company. When he does, ask him how he's doing on his goals. Now, the risk reward with that is he's going to tell you how he's doing with his goals. Yep. But he's also going to ask you how you're doing with your goals. So that's the risk to it, is that you're going to have to be ready to tell him what your goals were and how you're doing with those. For those of you out there, my goals this year are 7 phone calls to my Buffini network, 5 notes for Adrienne. I got to write 5 notes each week, and I got to do 2 pop buys. So, and my brother is very excited about those goals because it means I'm actually doing something this year. But anyways, commercial. Let's talk about commercial. Should we talk about commercial?
Do it.
It's not so exciting to me that I'm here. I'm just looking at paperwork. I'm really excited about Goodenough being here because, like that designation behind his name, CCIM, that's a very coveted commercial designation. This guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to commercial. But let's hit the next slide and we'll talk about some of the things that we have added this year for our commercial team. We've instituted a monthly commercial team meeting, which Goodenough is kind enough to lead. We've been working with the marketing department and Leon's Rockstar group over there to develop some commercial marketing pieces for the, because they're a little bit specialized. They're a little different from what all of you are getting in wonderful residential pieces. The thing that we're most excited about is commercial has its own MLSs. And Crexi is the one that we have started working with, Crexi Pro. So we have an account where we can partner with them and it's billed directly to your PPG account. So you don't have to remember to pay PPG and then pay Crexi and whatever else you're paying for. So we've got all of that stuff. And then I'm going to let Goodenough talk to you about some of the exciting things we've done as far as commercial education partnerships and other things like that. Go for that.
Thank you, Whistler. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So CCIM is the designation, and I'm not a big pin guy, but you get a pin when you get the designation. And so we actually have monthly meetings as a local chapter. And anybody who's interested in commercial, I encourage you to let me know, and I'm glad to have you tag along. But bottom line is we had a real score, thanks to Jeff and the leadership team, of being willing to step into conversations and ultimately find agreement on making a strategic partnership with CCIM and PPG. And so there's going to be multiple streams of benefits that come out of that. One of them is that there's discounts on education, and CCIM is a national organization that's really got an international reputation, and they're headquartered in Chicago. But they're known first and foremost for education. And so, there's classes that are online that you can join, live instructors. All the instructors are practitioners. So they're talking from experience and they're good communicators and they love what they do. So the classes I've taken are just top notch. And then also our local chapter is going to be bringing in classes to Portland area periodically. And so there's going to be some in-person classes as well. And so through our partnership, we'll have discounts to that. We'll have ways of kind of streamlining that connection. And then also CCIM has looked across the industry. And because residential, actually, you guys, you got it pretty good with having the MLS. You know that high percent confidence listings are going to be in the MLS and they're going to syndicate out. And that if you want data, you can go and dive into the MLS and make sense of that. And that's just not the case for commercial. That it's all over the board. So I still, because I'm PPG and I see the value, I still start by entering listings in MLS. Why not? It's extra exposure. But many of my colleagues don't do that. They don't even look at the MLS. And so you have to be ready to get into commercial databases. You have to be ready to look at multiple places and know how to ask, seek, and knock. And so the Crexi Pro is really a big deal for that. Because frankly, you're not doing justice to your clients if you're trying to practice commercial and you're only looking at the MLS. It's just not the full picture. So I'm excited for a CCIM partnership. I'm excited for getting Crexi Pro on there. Crexi Pro is going to give you a chance. If you're in commercial already, or if you're wanting to learn commercial, Crexi Pro is going to give you a chance to be actually diving in and doing an analysis, providing your client with a CMA. And then mentors can be behind you, coaching you up on how to do that. But before we had access to this, the commercial databases of the world are really expensive and they kind of have leverage on negotiating with you. And so it was a hurdle, right? A barrier to entry. And so getting Crexi Pro online for PPG is a real win. And then CCIM has given us a way to take steps into commercial education. So all that to say is, to the mentorship slide, are we ready to go?
Yeah,
there?
let's hit mentorship.
You know, I'll let Whistler finish up on this, but I just would add, honestly, guys, if you're chasing the lead into commercial, it's not worth it. It's too messy, it's too complicated, and sure, the stars could align and you might get by with one, but the risks are there. They take longer. There's more layers to them. The expectations are different from your clients. Expectations are different from your colleagues. The conversations with banks are different. The paperwork is different. The timeline of forms are different, right? And so there's so many pieces that you're gonna be kind of familiar, and then you're gonna be like, what's going on? And so mentorship is really just a critical part of this, right? It's not about taking money out of your pocket. It's about saying, if you want to learn commercial, if you want to gain a competency in this area, then let's lean in. Let's lean in together. Let's have somebody walk with you through a transaction. Categories are different. So if you did a retail, that doesn't mean you're ready to do a big industrial, right? Multifamily, we all kind of recognize that multifamily and residential are probably the closest. Like there's a gray area there. And so there's been some hard conversations about, well, I just did a 3-plex and now it's a 6-plex. So those are things we're trying to figure out as a company, how to honor the lines that our industry kind of has there between residential and commercial and multifamily. Bottom line, though, is that there still are extra expectations that are on you if you're going to be providing competent service, even in multifamily, even in smaller multifamily. And so please come have those conversations, lean in, and discern for yourself, is this worth investing? Am I ready to prioritize time and money to gaining a competency in commercial? Is that where I'm at in my practice? And if so, we want to come alongside and support you in that and make sure you're doing a good job for you and your clients.
Yeah.
And if not, if you're just like, oh, that's a big paycheck, then honestly, that's a better referral thing, right? And I know that when I get those opportunities, that there's still ways to stay connected relationally with your clients and feel like it's a team thing, but it's not a co-broker. It's really not. So that's where the mentorship comes in, and it's awesome to have multiple options up here for people that are ready to work with you.
Yeah.
And then just being ready for the main categories of commercial being multifamily, office, retail, and industrial. Land is a little bit of a question mark because land, as we know, Don's shaking his head, it can go lots of ways. So it depends on what the proposed use of the land is, right? And so even if you have experience with land, if all you're thinking about land is developing it residentially, then you're missing out on the buyers out there and how they're going to view the property if they're putting an office building on it. if they're doing a big industrial complex, right? So those are pieces that just add to the puzzle. Love to have those conversations with you and check it out.
He already had way more for this slide than I was expecting to do. So that's why he's so good at what he does. And I would agree with everything that he said about the mentorship thing. So if you're considering being a mentor, have a conversation with one of us about that before you just jump into it. And I've had conversations with residential agents who say, come on, I know enough about real estate that commercial is not that much different. The real estate agency in Oregon actually considers commercial real estate to be a specialty. So if you don't have the specialized understanding, they want you to either partner with somebody who does or refer that lead to somebody who does. So that is why we say we want you to do mentorship. And we do mentorship on the residential side to help set the average starting agent up to be more successful as they start down the road. And I haven't seen statistics on it, but I believe strongly that the agents that we send through the residential mentorship program are having a better chance of succeeding than the average agent in the industry, who about 85 to 90% of the time goes out of the business in the first 2 years. I think our agents are staying longer. And Lisa's shaking her head at me, so I know that it's true because I trust everything that Lisa shakes her head yes about. So talk to us. I'm even excited. We've got Matt Tackett on the list there, and he's a commercial specialist in vineyards and wine. So any of you out there in Yamhill County doing a little bit of that activity, you might want to have a conversation with Matt about referring that lead to him or something. We have a couple of agents on our commercial team that are doing that. 14 was on the list on the roster today of commercial agents at PPG. So that's it for us, I think, unless you've got anything else.
It's all good.
Thanks,
All right.
guys. And we all know that any commercial land that's open is being turned into a Dutch Bros anyway, don't we? I think that's what happens with all of it. Thanks. Who's next? Sarah is next. I'm not even going to put this on. I'm just going to hand it to you. You can. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm going to make this quick. I'm here to talk to you about SkySlope Books. Have you heard about SkySlope Books? Raise your hand. Awesome. We'll go to the next slide. I just want to hit a few points. I emailed you and sent a PPG Connect, but for any agents in our prep or our referral network, you can go directly to SkySlope Books. Oh, I did say I was going to go over here, didn't I? I'm just making it interesting. Look at that. That's fine. That's fine. So you can go directly to SkySlope Books. I'm going to show you a little video just to walk you through that. But for anyone who has an active SkySlope account, you just log into your SkySlope transaction management account and you'll see under the apps drop down that Books app. And so this is a way that you will be able to track your commission, all your deals, all of your AR, right? You'll see all your invoices in there. So it's going to be really exciting. It'll give you visibility. We're really excited about that as being an addition to our tech stack here at PPG. But you must log in. So you have to log in and enter your new bank account information before getting your next commission check. So it's really simple. Again, I emailed you, but I'm going to show that to you again. And you can also put a credit card information in there. So every time you get an invoice from anything that you get from PPG, whether it's your desk fee, or your CAP plan or any marketing, that's just going to be on your invoice. It'll be emailed, that invoice, and there's just a button to pay with the way that you've decided to pay. And you can actually even pay through your bank account. So that's an exciting advantage. So let's just look at it really quickly. All right, so like I said, if you are you don't have an active account, transaction management account, you can just go directly to SkySlope Books and log in with the email address that you have associated with our company and just log in that way. However, if you have your SkySlope account active, we have an SSO or a single sign-on, so you can log in there, go to your apps and click on Books, and that'll be that single sign-on. And the most important thing for you to do when you log in is to go to that top right. You'll see your profile there. Go to profile, login, head over to company, and then you can manage your accounts. And that's where you can add your bank account. You can add multiple bank accounts, and you can add a credit card. So you'll go in there, add the account number, routing number, indicate whether or not it's checking or savings, and there you have it. It's really that simple, my friends. And so you'll save it there, and same with your credit card. So you'll put your credit card information in there, and you can store multiple cards, whether or not you have a personal and a business. You can add those there. And whenever you get an invoice, you'll be able to click on the invoice. There is a help center. So that's also in your account. So if you have questions, there are some tutorials for admin. So you'll see admin tutorials, but also tutorials for you. It is very easy to use. So there probably aren't a lot that you'll need to look at. But again, you're going to be getting an email for your invoices. And so when you get that email, it'll look a little something like this. You'll click on a button, as I've said before, and it'll ask you to pay your bill. And it'll, again, bring those options up if you've already put them in there. And if you have not, it will ask you to put them in. So whether or not it's that bank account, it'll ask for that information. And the same thing with your credit card. So it's going to be really savvy, really easy to use. And you can switch from, depending on the month, if you want to, what you pay with. And that's always wonderful. Now, as we always have, if you have a invoice that is past due and you have a commission processing, that will come right out of your commission account, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's just another cool, again, feature that we have here. And I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. Yes. Right now, it's a click. So you have to indicate where you want it to be paid out of, which can be nice for you. And again, there are a few nuances. We've been doing a lot of training on this, but as you can imagine, with a brand new system, we're learning about views and what you can see and what we can see. And so there are a couple of those nuances. And that's a question that I have outstanding, if it can be just an auto bill. And so I will have more information when I meet with our rep on Monday. Yes. What date? So I'm going to ask for a little patience with us this month. So we're processing all of our commissions right now. So starting on the 1st, all commissions we've been processing, and then we're adding backdated invoices just throughout this month. So hopefully it'll be the next couple of weeks, but of course, our team's just working really hard, making sure everything's there. So they're going to just be coming through. So it won't be an exact date, if that makes sense. Yes. The banking information? Yes. So when you log in through the app to SkySlope Books, so whether or not you're going directly to SkySlope Books or you're going in to SkySlope and then selecting the app Books, you'll go to the profile and then you can update your information, whether or not it's the bank information or credit card information, anytime you wish. Yeah. All right. Exciting. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, right. Yeah. So there's a due date, and then there's typically a grace period of 7 days, right? So, so I would just go in and make sure that you're paying that with your credit card prior to a commission being processed, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You sure can. So, we absorb credit card fees for any fees outside of your desk fee, because that is quite a large fee. So there will be a credit card processing fee for your $8,000 annual fee However, you can also pay that with your bank account, and that's just $1. So I know some people like those points, so they want to do it on their credit card. There is a small fee for that. Anything else? All right, pretty painless. I'm excited. Please, if you have any questions about commissions or your accounting, right, billing questions, reach out to our accounting team. If you have questions about logging in, reach out to help. We're all here to help you wade through all of that. But it's been really easy for a lot of you, and I see a lot of you excited about the visibility you're going to have. So thank you for working through that with us. Who am I passing it to next?
Can we give a round of applause to our
Accounting team, yes.
to make this change for us? Thanks to our accounting team.
Absolutely. We have a great team. All right,
Hello.
Mrs. Sorensen.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes. Okay, I'm going to hold this. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. So great to be back with you all. I am going to be brief, but I have some exciting charity updates for you. And then I have some production award reminders because our award ceremony is coming up. And I know a lot of you have had a lot of questions about that. So we're going to answer all those. So let's get going. We have been supporting children this quarter. Specifically, we have partnered with ABC House and also Big Brothers Big Sisters, two amazing local nonprofits doing such great work for the kids in our communities. And I just have a few highlights here. So you all showed up big time. We hosted a giving tree for ABC House at our Albany office. They collected a ton of donations for ABC House. So big shout out to our Albany office. We also supported Big Brothers Big Sisters with their winter village. So we've been collecting a ton of donations and we volunteered to help them set up that day of giving for the families receiving support from Big Brothers Big Sisters. So thank you all to everyone who showed up to help us with that and everyone who donated. We also, of course, have been collecting money. And I am super proud and excited to announce that for ABC House, if we pop to the next slide, we are going to be presenting them with a check for $3,845. That is thanks to everyone that is giving in our Albany office. So thank you so much. Round of applause to them. And very excited to announce we are presenting Big Brothers Big Sisters also with a check for $8,085.64. And I believe, I hope we have folks here from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Do we have, oh, I see Katie. Hi, Katie. Come on up. Hi, Cynthia. Come on up too. Okay, great. Well, we are going to let Katie say a few words about the great work that they're doing at Big Brothers Big Sisters, what they will be doing with this money and how you can continue to be involved. And then we're going to take a quick picture with the large check here with all of you in the background and we'll continue. So I will turn it over to you, Katie.
Hi, this is so much scarier than when I was on Zoom and I couldn't see any of your faces. So this is great. Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. My name is Katie. I'm the corporate relations manager at Big Brothers Big Sisters, Columbia Northwest. And we had so much fun having some of you come out to help set up our winter village on December 7th. We had 120 families come through and they got to shop for gifts for their kids and get gift baskets of fun things that they could do together as a family. And we've just had so many wonderful responses to that of families being like, we wouldn't have been able to do anything. This is so lovely. Thank you so much. So we really appreciate it. I love that you guys were talking about mentorship earlier because that's what we do. So I love that. I like how you said that usually when a real estate agent has a mentor, they last longer in the field and they're more successful. That is the exact same thing with the kids that we serve at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Our youth are 97% in Oregon more likely to graduate from high school. 96% of them have lower risky behaviors that they're doing, and then 95% of them have a plan for their future, which is amazing. So it is so important to have someone just walking with you through life, through whatever that looks like. And so I encourage you, it's one of the things, if you want to be a big, we are always in the process of, we are always needing bigs, volunteers to help support youth 6 to 18. It's a year-long commitment. We ask for 2 to 4 times a month, and we find a kiddo that matches the things that you like to do. So say you like to do watercolors and hiking, we got a kid for you. They like to do that too, and you're just doing those things together. And it's not about being perfect, it's just about being present in their lives, which is really important. I know you guys love to network. Networking is probably your favorite thing. If you got to talk to 5 people about real estate, I got an event for you. It's called the Big Futures Luncheon. It's focused on networking and collaboratively problem solving. How do we support kids today so they're ready for their future later? It's a really fun, engaging event. It's not like a regular luncheon where you sit with the people you see every day and you learn a thing and then you go back home. No, we split you up around the room with a bunch of different people from all sorts of businesses all over Portland. You get to network and talk and learn about what we're doing, what we're up to, and how can we support workforce development specifically for youth, because they are going to be the workforce soon. They're going to be real estate agents. They're going to be doing all this kind of stuff later. And that's going to be on April 8th. So look for more information on that. We'll send it out. It's so fun. We also have, other things like Rappel for a Reason. If any of you are very, wanting to rappel down the side of a building in Portland because you think that would be fun, we have an event for you. You can do it. It's a lot of crowdfunding, fundraising. So you will raise money to go over the edge, which is super cool. A lot of visibility. If any of you want to have your, sponsor names. Sure. I'm sure that's a thing. So it'd be really fun. And then we have our regular gala, which I'm sure some of you have been to. We're trying to get the Hyatt Regency in Southeast, but it's fun. Yeah, it's great visibility. People will be like, what is that? Oh, real estate. Cool. Let's go buy something. And then donate. That's always the thing. We are so grateful for all that you guys have done to support us this last quarter. We are going to be using this money to continue to build relationships with kids in our community, to serve them. We are always looking for new mentors. That is a big part of it. And so this helps us raise awareness and helps us, get those kids the mentors that they need. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie. Okay, we're gonna take a quick photo. So if you want to be in the photo, kind of scrunch in this way. I think we should be able to get everyone in the room. And if you have any specific questions about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or how to get involved, please reach out to me and I can connect you with the folks at Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So we're going to take a quick photo.
There we go. Hold it backwards. I'll put it down. This way is still fair.
When we say side.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, blank check. Sweet.
All righty. Thank you so much again, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and for everyone that donated this quarter. So now I get to announce what we're doing this next quarter, which is supporting Hunger Again. So we are back to supporting the food banks and local pantries at each of our offices. We know from the food bank that the first quarter is typically a time when they really need more support because over the holidays, a lot of people are thinking about giving and volunteering. And then first quarter hits and they forget about that. So we are going to be supporting the food bank. They're all at the gym trying to fulfill those New Year's resolutions. So we will be hosting drives at each one of our offices. We'll have opportunities for volunteering and donating food. So we will have more information on that from your office managers in the next couple weeks. Okay, so now I get to pivot to talking about our award ceremony. I don't know how this happened, and it's coming up again in just a little over a month, but our event is on Friday, February 21st. It is at 6 p.m. in the same location as last year, Castaway in Portland. And how many people have been to this party in the room? Oh, wow, many of you, more than half. So if you haven't been, it is a fabulous party. And we have a lot of fun. We have several hundred folks that come out. We've got a live band. We have food and drinks. And we do have also a formal awards celebration with videos. And the whole purpose of this is to celebrate you and celebrate our staff. So we are so excited about this year's event. It's going to be very similar to past years, but we'll have a little bit of different kind of marketing and photo opportunities. So please mark your calendars for our event and some production award reminders. So I know a lot of you have questions. These are the production levels. Circle of Excellence is 6 to 10 million, President Circle 10 to 20 million, and Platinum Circle is 20 million plus. And if we pop to the next slide, some reminders on how we pull production. So we use SkySlope for production. So all you need to do right now is ensure that your transactions are closed in SkySlope and have an accurate final sales price. And if you can do that by January 15th, that is when we start pulling all of that data. If you are an agent who was not with PPG for the entire calendar year of 2024, please send us your MLS reports of any production that you had at your prior brokerage, because we would love to include that and still recognize you if you get to one of those award tiers. But we don't have a way of knowing what that volume is unless you send us those reports. Also, this year, by popular demand, we are giving you the option, if you have a formal team here at PPG and would prefer to receive a team award versus an individual award, we can do that this year, but we need to hear that from you. So by default, we will pull individual production from SkySlope. But if we hear from you and your team that you would rather have a team award and you do have a formal team with team agreements set up here at PPG, then we can do that for you. So please let me know again by January 15th if you would like a team award. It is, and if we pop to the next slide, I know I'm going to regret this, but this is a QR code that connects to my email because you're going to want to email me. And again, if you have any questions about your production, if you have MLS reports to send me, or if you're on a team and you want to be recognized, or just have any general questions, of course, you can email me. So we'll keep that up here for a moment. And I think that might be it for me. Any questions about production awards or the ceremony? Awesome. Oh, yep. It would. You can send that. Oh, yep. The question was if he has a volume report from his prior brokerage, can he send that to me? And the answer is yes. Okay, well, again, I really hope to see you there. I hope to see you at the Troutdale Grand Opening. We've got a ton of great events. We're really hitting the ground running in 2025. And thank you all for being here. And I think I get to turn it over to Leon Stamatis.
I need this one. I am a pacer. Sometimes I'll get off the phone and not even realize where I am. Like, how did I even get here? Next slide, please. So here's our team. Please come up. This is our marketing team. We've got, thank you. we are, I always love to bring them up because it's not just me. It's these are the people behind the scenes that are doing all the work, all the great stuff that you guys have for your sellers and buyers. These are the people doing the work. So I like to share the spotlight with them and just introduce them and say, you know, we're a big team. We've got a lot of experience between the four of us. And if you're not using a marketing team, you're really missing out because we've got some great people here that can help you out, save you some time, and give you a better product. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for being great. Thank you. Next slide, please. We do have some new swag coming up. Now is almost the last opportunity to order these bags. I'll pass some of these around. This is some of the latest swag that we've done on the group buys. Take a look. Quality is great. Really impressed with the quality that we've had with the PPG group buys. So get in on this QR code. You guys are going to miss out pretty soon. If you don't want these, then wait for the next one. But we've got some really great stuff that we've been offering. So take a look at the quality at the stuff I'm passing around, and then okay, that depends where you're going. If you're going to the farmer's market, yes. If you're going to the grocery store, yes. If you're using it for like every day, like carrying around your laptop, probably not. Yeah. All right, next slide, please. So this is 24 has been a really busy year. We've done a lot of really cool things, a lot of revolutionary things, and one of those things is that we've created this welcome guide for bringing in new agents to the company. And so raise your hand. Are you planning on bringing in a new agent to the company this year? Like one, is that on your radar? So we've got some tools for you, and this is the best tool. It's fully personalized. So on the first page, you've got up top, you've got the agent's name. You've got a personalized written letter right inside the front cover. It replaces, this is the generic one, but it replaces all of that information. Super simple to order these. Let's hit the next slide, which I've got some more information. So you guys all have PPG Connect. If you go to the hub right here and you click on Welcome Guide Order Form, you guys can order these, have them delivered to the agent that you're wanting to have, you know, join the company in their mailbox in just a few days. And so this order form will walk you through the customization process. There's a pre-written letter that you guys can change, keep, modify however you want to do it. Super easy. They're like 10, 15 bucks. And, you know, it's a great product. Let's hit the next slide. And so we also have, those are the personalized ones. We also have the generic ones. So if you want to keep a few of these at your desk, in your car, ready to go, you're just having a conversation with somebody and they're like, man, I love what you do. I would kind of want to do that myself. You have this in your cart and ready to go. So order a few, have them with you. And the next slide. And then there's a zero cost option. So we have these business cards at the front office in each office, or at the front desk in each office. And you can take a few of these, put them in your pocket, and this QR code brings them to the website. And the website, we have all the same information as the welcome guide. So if you want to have a digital version, that's the best way to do that. Coming very soon, we have a whole new marketing platform. So take everything you knew about PPG Toolkit and throw it out the window. Not really. But as far as marketing goes, we're going to have a full e-commerce website. So ordering business cards, ordering yard signs, ordering marketing materials, ordering photography, all that stuff is going to be combined into a great e-commerce site. Super easy to use. And that should be launched at the next sales meeting. So next February. So very soon. Thank you. Super exciting. And then we've also got a little sneak peek here at a new custom seller's guide. Next slide. So it's called the PPG Blueprint. It's going to be 36 pages, customized to your needs. So you could customize a little bit, you could customize a lot. We've got, again, we've got the personalized letter on the front page. You can have these mailed to your sellers ahead of time before even you meet with them. We've got a couple of cool things. You've got your sold properties right there. If you don't have any sold properties, you can use ours. But hopefully you have some. And signed with your name on the back. So lots of cool stuff in here. This is designed to walk the sellers through the process of what it looks like from start to finish. Question? These are not launched yet, so wait for next month. The question is, what is the cost? And I don't have the cost yet because we haven't launched this product yet. I'm sorry? Not yet. In February. TJ. This is a tease. This is a tease. We're launching this next month. Be excited about it. It's really cool. We just, yeah.
Blame me.
Blame him. TJ answers no. Okay. 2 to 3 days. So give us a date. There will be a rush. Hopefully everyone's not a rush. There will be a fee for a rush, but you know, give us a day to design the thing if you're changing out photos for solds and all that kind of stuff. If you have, additionally, in the back, there's testimonials. And so we've got our PPG testimonials in there to start with, if you don't have any testimonials, but you probably do. And so we can swap those out. So give us a day to design it, and then 2 or 3 days in the mail, standard mail. If you need a rush, let us know. You can have it delivered the next day. Yes. To their house. To the seller's house, yes. The question is, where will it be delivered? And the answer is to the seller's house. So yeah, we're really excited about this. It's been a huge undertaking. Steve and I have been, you know, going over this quite a bit, and we've got a lot of sweat equity into it, and we're super excited about it. And we're super excited to have you guys using them, because I think it's gonna be a great tool. Thank you. More to come in February. Any questions for marketing while I'm still up here? Am I doing what? Buyer's guide, yeah, it's coming right down the pipeline. Yep. Anything else? Oh yeah, we're doing full custom stuff now, and there's going to be easy order forms with the new website that's coming up. So.
And your seller's name is printed on the cover and in
Oh
the
yeah.
letter. And you can customize that letter, just like the welcome. Very cutting edge. I don't know any other real estate company doing on-demand printing with your client's names on it. I've not seen or heard of that.
Yeah, this stuff is revolutionary. It's not being done anywhere. So super excited about that. Cheryl. Cheryl Fong, everybody. Thank you.
I've got to see this book and it's amazing. You will like it. It's going to go through for your seller, all of the things you're going to do for them as their seller's agent. And it's going to be very valuable. So thank you, Leon and Steve. By the way, did you know Leon's going to rappel down that? Yeah. Thank you all for coming. And I'm Cheryl Fong, your designated principal broker. And I'm happy today that again, we get to go through the amazing changes to the OREF forms and to the Oregon forms. So hold on. But first, these are your reviewing brokers. And one day I'm going to have you all come up here with me. But if you are a reviewing broker in the audience, would you please stand up? All of the reviewing brokers deserve so much credit because last year was a tough year and they just went with everything that was a change in the OREF, or actually National Association of Realtors changes. So thank you for that. And all of you should be grateful to them for what they do, and please pat them on the back. For November, the RB Corner quiz winner is someone who is randomly picked from anybody who takes the quiz, and they have to get 100% on it. And this month, Joanne Fantozzi is going to get a $50 voucher to the PPG marketing platform, which is pretty valuable. So. Here's how you take that quiz. Every month, we're going to send you out a link to that quiz. And all you have to do is take the quiz, and you're going to be put into that drawing. So you get an equal chance with anybody else who passes the quiz. So pay attention. And we'll go ahead and go with that. All right, the OREF form had the most changes, and we're going to go over a few of those. Some of the changes that you're going to see is the personal property section explains what fixtures and system components are and includes the opportunity to check whether the mounted hardware and bathroom mirrors are included. So that means, for instance, if there's a TV in the bathroom or wherever they watch TV, no, I'm just playing with that. But if there's a mounting for that TV, does that mounting piece go? Because that's a fixture. The TV's not, but the fixture would be. Yes, go ahead. So he's asking if there's a big hole and they take it out. So that is between the buyer and the seller. And yes, so yes. So if you are seeing that, you will want to include that. Make sure that they include that, and hopefully you get a walkthrough prior to closing. Okay, the seller contributions are included now in the sale agreement. You do not need Form 048 seller's contribution addendum. Yes, I'm glad for that too. It's going to make life a little bit easier. But it's included in section 4, so don't miss that. That's where you're going to put if the buyers have asked the seller to pay for your services. It's no longer a separate addendum, but it's still required. Section 22 now requires sellers to identify all smart features in writing within 3 days. Yes, look at Barbara. She's like so happy because all of you have gotten from us a little note that says smart features need to be explained by the seller within 3 days. That should be done on an addendum. Now, it's really up to the listing agent to make sure that they are giving that information within the default of 3 days, but it isn't something that is going to require some extra work on your part other than making sure that information gets to them. So a couple of suggestions on that might be to put it into the listing in RMLS or whichever MLS you use. Also, another option is to have a sheet ready and available that can be attached maybe even to the seller's property disclosure statement, some way of saying, here's the smart features, here's how they work, and some more information on use. And that way you don't have to worry about that smart feature section. You got to remember that you must disclose them. And best practices is to obtain a list of the smart features from the seller and include that on the listing. Okay. Section 51, the seller's response. Oh, this is a big change. At the end of the contract, it used to say seller accepts the offer, they could sign there. Or the second section below that would say they counteroffer or reject. Now that's all in one section, and they can just check whether they accept it, counter it, or reject. So I think that's a good change. If you have not gone to a class for the OREF changes, you need to go. And here is the line. You can copy this down and go to this, but there are also some other classes coming up for those changes. So I encourage you to go to that. All right. The HOA addenda changes. The owners, the HOA addendum is now changed. The name of it is now the Owner Association Addendum. It's form OREF 023, and delivery of association documents is also a new form. And these forms are going to be in lieu of the PPG HOA document delivery or, contingency. So you don't need to use that, but you definitely need to use this. So it's really no difference. You're just showing that you are delivering those documents. There is another new form, 050B. It's the buyer representation agreement early termination. So if the buyer is terminating or you're terminating, you'll need to have this document. And this form should be used when you are terminating the Oregon representation agreement or the buyer's representation agreement prior to the expiration date. For additional changes, again, go to the orefonline.com. And by the way, while I mentioned that, this is usually the time of year where I get lots and lots of calls. And someone says, hey, my forms are no longer in SkySlope. What happened? Did the company do something? And I say, no. When was the last time you paid for your forms? It's time to go back in there and pay for your forms, and then they'll come right back into SkySlope. So I encourage you to make sure you keep track of that. Oregon realtors forms have also had a few changes, not big ones, but a few. There's Form 2.1 contingent right to purchase, the due diligence contingency period options to begin upon mutual acceptance on or after removal of the contingency of sale. Only the due diligence contingency period can be modified to begin after the contingency removal. All other contingencies in the sale agreement remain the same upon mutual acceptance. Go ahead. And then Form 4.4A, delivery and receipt of association documents. Again, this is for HOA documents. We have always used the PPG delivery of documents, but wait, this is for regular documents. Sorry about that. There is an added field in this, which is does not exist. So if there are forms that are not applicable, there's this that the seller can check indicating that that document has not been found or doesn't exist. And the seller must select either delivered or does not exist for each line item. The new form, here's something interesting. Have you seen any short sales? Yes, there are some, and I'm seeing them in my review. And so there is a new form, an Oregon form, 4.5 short sale addendum. If you have never ever done a short sale, I recommend you do not do it on your own. It's a big deal, and if you were here in 2008, 2009, 2010, you know that they're a big deal to work with the bank because they're a third party. So please get someone to help you agent be on your contract for any short sales. Yes.
One point to add on the HOA documents, whether you're using the OREF library or the Oregon Realtors Library, both libraries now have their own HOA documentation. You don't need to use the PPG HOA documentation. Use the form within the library that you're choosing to use for that.
Yeah, so he says use the HOA delivery document from either platform that you're using. You no longer need to use the PPG delivery. Okay, go ahead. Seller's property disclosure statement. Agents, you are never to help the seller fill out the seller's property disclosure statement. We all know that. So I just wanted to remind you, if they are having a problem understanding it, have them go to someone that can help them. Say, for instance, there's a language barrier. Find a child that is in the family that can help them understand English and read the things to them, or a different way of helping them, but you're not to help them fill out the seller's property disclosure statement. The agents must disclose any known material fact that you know about the property, even if the seller fails to disclose. So if you know of an issue with the house and the sellers did not put it on the seller's property disclosure, it is still your requirement to disclose that. If the seller is intentionally withholding material information regarding a listing, please talk to your RB, because they can help you figure out a better way. And maybe it means to not have a relationship with that seller at all. As a listing agent, always inform the seller about the information you are sharing with any party in the transaction. Next, please. All agents should be reviewing the seller's property disclosures to confirm that it's completely filled out. And make sure that every question is answered. Make sure that every question with a asterisk has a yes and has a yes response is explained on the disclosure explanation page. And then also make sure that the line item, I think it's 217, has a number of extra pages that you're adding to that contract. Buyer agency requirements. Oregon statute was effective 1/1/2025. You're saying, okay, we've had to do this since August. Yeah, you have. But this is now the state law that's going into effect. And all buyers, as soon as they're reasonably practical after the licensee has commenced efforts to assist the buyer in purchasing real estate or in identifying real property to purchase. So your job is as soon as you can, as soon as possible, to have that buyer's representation agreement signed. And the other thing is you can't show property without that being signed. This means when you're entering into written buyer's representation agreement, as soon as you know that you're working with that buyer, even if it is before you begin showing them property. If you have a buyer set up on an automatic property alert as a prospecting mechanism, but you do not have a buyer's consultation appointment and you have not confirmed that the buyer is in fact planning on working with you, you don't need to enter into a buyer's representation agreement. Once the buyer's representation agreement is signed, a pre-contract buyer file can be initiated in SkySlope. And that's really easy. A lot of you are already using it, but that way, that document, that buyer's representation is already in SkySlope. And once you have a contract, you just click accepted contract, and then you can add in the rest of the documents. Occupancy agreement insurance requirements. So if you have an occupancy agreement either before or after closing, there is a requirement for the seller to obtain insurance. And this is due 5 days prior to the close of escrow. So if you haven't seen it by then, you want to make sure it's there. Simply leaving the seller's homeowner's insurance policy in place after closing is not sufficient. Many times that will actually void because it's not the home is no longer in their name. And it probably will not cover anything that happens after closing. The amount of liability insurance stated on the occupancy agreement is a liability insurance amount, which is different than the value of the dwelling. This amount is the amount that the insurance provider will cover for a liability claim against the properties, not for the damage of the properties. The seller must be identified as an additional beneficiary of the policy. And many insurance agents will push back on that, but have never seen a seller that was unable to obtain that insurance. So if they say to you, well, I'm not going to get it for that short period of time, that's not the case. It's actually every person can get that rental insurance. Greg. Yes, it should. I was going to just say that. It actually should say the buyers, who are now the sellers after closing, should, or the owner, should be on that policy as additional insured. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, I get to welcome Denise. You go, my friend.
Hello. Thank you so much. Awesome. Well, how is everybody doing? So good to see everybody. I have a question for you guys. Who's all in for 2025? Yes, right? What an incredible year so far. You know, I was on a call yesterday with Brandon Bashar. He wrote Habits of Highly Performing Folks. And one of the things he had mentioned was this. He said, you know, when you drift or you're in maintenance mode, what happens when you're drifting? You'll eventually start slowing down, right? And then you'll stop. So don't allow yourself to get into a maintenance mode, right? This is the time right now that we need to be getting ourselves ready to go for this year, right? How many people in the room were able to answer Jeff's amazing questions at the start? Right? Awesome. That's so good, you guys. I'm so glad to see that because we technically should be business planning in October, right? For Q1. So I think that is so great. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys today is reminders. You know, when we have all of these grand goals, sometimes can it feel lonely, right? Or do we have systems sometimes that maybe that's not what we're best at doing? And so we clunk along in our systems, or maybe there's parts of our programs that we're not utilizing because that's not who we are, right? We're so great with people. We're so great with taking care of people. We understand selling real estate, but there are parts of our business that can be difficult and feel lonely. And I want to share with you that your partners at Lawyers Title, you will never be alone. I want to give you a couple of examples of what that looks like to partner with Lawyers Title and how we will help you achieve your goals, okay? So let's just take open houses. If that's in your business planning to do X amount of open houses per month, right? We're going to help you by saving you some time on prepping for that because we want to, and we know that the best practices when it comes to open houses is creating a listing acquisition open house and creating a buyer information center, right? So when that consumer comes in, right, they're there to talk, they're there to learn lifestyle, the area, etc. And the way that you can do that is by partnering with Lawyers Title, letting us take that homework off of your plate, and we can put together for you a wonderful information packet so you can create that information center, right? We can help you with understanding who those sellers are, potential sellers are around that open house to create that listing acquisition, right? So every time you do an open house, you are creating a higher level of opportunity, right? Another suggestion that I would have you meet with your bestie at Lawyers Title with, who's looking for more listings or working with more buyers or both? Yes? Awesome. Wonderful. Well, we have some proven systems on creating those listings and having that listing turn into 3 buyers, and from those 3 buyers, another listing and more buyers, and so forth. So if you are looking for those proven results and to dive into gaining more listings and working with more buyers, we will help you with that proven system, okay? Another example is, you know, we're pretty passionate at Lawyers Title, and we have a proven record of saving our clients over 150 hours in their business as a direct result of working with us, helping them gain 4 to 6 more transactions a year directly because of the systems that we help them with, the ones that engage, right? And also we have a passion for understanding that sometimes our systems need to be streamlined, right? There's systems that could be a little bit quicker, faster, a better product for you for what your goals are. We'll sit down with you and we'll do a CRM audit, right? The CRM that you guys are using is incredible. And are you utilizing it to the best of your ability for what the functions are and for what your goals are, right? So we could take a look at that and do an audit with you, right? Let's take a Google audit. Are you getting the best from Google for you and your business? Let's absolutely sit down and do a Google audit together, right? Let's take a look at the systems. Let's look at your goals, and we will help you streamline those processes so we can help you save time, money, and achieve your goals. And we're pretty passionate about it. And I'm sure we'll have some fun doing it as well. Jeff, what you had spoke about earlier today, I'll tell you what, it is powerful because we don't want to mistake movement for achievement. And we certainly know that what we focus on expands. So I think you guys will really do yourselves a huge favor if you dive into what Jeff was saying today and answer those questions. Thank you so much for your business and partnership at Lawyers Title, and we are honored to be that person for you. Thanks so much.
The magic mic.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you, Greg, for, I guess, drawing light to the fact that I spent a lot of time writing handwritten cards. So if you haven't gotten one, someday you will, I'm sure. At Christmas time in 2 weeks, I wrote 144 hand addressed cards that were personalized. So just to give you context of that. But I actually came from a real estate background and mortgage at one point, and we were very big on our 8 touches in 8 weeks. And so that was sort of the way that I grew my business, and I've carried it on into what we do now, which is great. I'm Adrian from Environmental Works. We do sewer radon, heating and oil tank inspections, as well as we do the decommissioning, mitigation, and repairs. We have a full service plumbing business. So one of the things that we're offering for the month of January, is if you do what we call the works, which is a sewer radon and a heating oil tank inspection, we will give you $50 off, making it $249 for the whole month. If you put in a radon mitigation system, which is between $1,800 and $2,500, they'll take $100 off for the month of January, because January is Radon Awareness Month. For those that don't know, it's a great touch for your clients to educate them that radon, if you don't know, is the second leading cause of lung cancer to smoking, and more people die every year of radon poisoning than they do of drunk driving in the state of Oregon. So definitely something to know. Also, when we buy our houses, this is the only time we ever do radon tests. However, every 3 to 5 years, you should retest your house. Houses settle, they change. If you bought your house in the summer, you're gonna get a different reading in the winter. If you've remodeled and unearthed stuff, that can change stuff. So just be very aware with your clients. It's a great touch point. Let's see here, what else do I have? We offer a realtor, lender, whatever, people in our industry program where we want you to be in business with us because you know what we do and you explain it. For new agents, this is great too, because if you've never been to an inspection, this gives you an opportunity to experience that. But we will test your primary resident, not your vacation home, not your children's homes, your primary resident for free, all 3 of those services. So please take advantage. Just call and say, I'm a realtor, I want to take advantage of your program. So we won't question anything. We'll just set you up and you can walk through that experience. The other thing is Get Tanked. We always do an amazing party every year. Last year we had about 400 people. It was an all-inclusive resort theme. It changes every year. So mark your calendars. July 10th is the party. So be prepared. Don't plan your vacations because you will miss out. Last year we did pigs on a spit. We had fire dancers. We had it all. Lastly, the most exciting thing is starting Q2, we're adding septic services. We will be doing all septic things. So pumping, repairing, replacing, ESRs, all things septic. We hired the most amazing gentleman who's been in business for 23 years. And, we do. Very few people actually do that. So we will absolutely do that. There's a slight charge for that. I want to say it's like $80 this or $100. Cesspools. Oh, gosh. I'm not used to cesspools. Do we do them? Yes, we do. They are giant holes in the ground. For those of you who don't know, that if you don't have them checked, you can fall into them. We had somebody a couple years ago who fell into a 10-foot cesspool hole that was not decommissioned. My personal home actually was on cesspool when I purchased it, and that was part of the negotiations, hooking it up to the sewer line. Anybody else have any questions before I jump on? And then lastly, I think that was everything. Oh, I'm doing this year, we are rolling out a reward program for you all. It's great that you give us your business. There are 2 ways to earn that opportunity. One is through giving us your business and production. The other way is through referral. And I'm taking the top 20 people at the end of the year. I'm going to rent out the bar, I think at Departure, I've decided, and take you guys to a great happy hour privately where just the 20 of us can hang out there. So yeah, so know that you don't have to produce to get that. You just have to refer. Thank you so much for having us. And I think that's all I got. Who do I hand this? Come on, Austin.
Yeah, got some guarantees. Hello, everyone. I'm Austin Irwin, work at Directors Mortgage. Shout out to my directors team. I see we got Mo, Dave, Michelle, Julie was here, and we got Jim, also my father, Mark Irwin, and mother, Donna Irwin in the back. Can we get the next slide? So you guys survived until 2025. That's great. What can we forecast for 2025 and moving forward? We're going to find out today. Next slide. All righty. So the Fed, big key component to where mortgage rates go into the future. We projected 2025 being 4 total rate cuts, but they pulled back on us. And now they're going to do 2 rate cuts, but things could change and we could see more rate cuts in the future. Right now we can see our federal funds rates at 4.375%, and we're probably going to round out by the end of the year of 3.875%. Remember, when cuts happen, it doesn't mean mortgage rates lower instantly. It takes 6 to 8 months to trickle in. But if we see unemployment rise, you'll see the Fed start to move that target lower, and do more rate cuts will be beneficial. Next slide, please. Now, where is the Fed projecting unemployment to be? Well, we're looking at about 4.2 to 4.3%, or 4.4 to 4.5%. Right now, it's at 4.1%. If we see unemployment move up to 4.3%, that's going to surprise. Can I get the next slide? There we go. If we see unemployment move up to 4.4%, that's going to surprise 14 Fed voting members. If we see it go all the way up to 4.6%, that's going to surprise all 19 Fed voting members, meaning more rate cuts and potentially lower rates for us. We don't want to cheer for unemployment, but that is a key component for lower mortgage rates. More clients in the market. So maybe get those pom-poms out. Next slide, please. This year. Now let's talk about the labor market. That's going to be another key component moving forward. And right now, again, we're at 4.1%. In unemployment, we did touch 4.3% back in July, and that came sharply down month over month. Big reason being is you had a lot of hires during those seasonal times, part-time workers in November and December. Next slide. However, there is a catalyst to this. About 70% of these stores are closing about 70% of these employers are closing 70% of their stores, which is pretty huge. So again, we got Party City, Big Lots, Family Dollar, CVS. This is going to trickle into unemployment and continue to move that number up, we think, month over month. Next slide. Now let's talk about those mortgage rates, because that's going to feed our business moving forward. Where do we think mortgage rates could be in the next 6 months? One more click, one more click, one more click. Perfect. 10-year treasury, huge key component. Who knows what a 10-year treasury is? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you guys are experts. Awesome. Basically, it is just a treasury bill that you can buy, and you have a 10-year guarantee behind it that you're going to get a percentage on. So if we think that the 10-year treasury could hit 3.6%, currently it's at 4.7%, but in the next 6 months, if it goes down, you could see the mortgage spread of a 10-year treasury lower by 2.25%. Basically, what's happening here is right now, investors are saying, well, we have a spread of 3%. So you tack that on to what the 10-year treasury is. That gives you what your mortgage rate is. If that spread comes down to 2.25%, you could see in the next 6 months an interest rate of 5.85%. So again, that's going to move more individuals into the market and suck up this tight inventory. It is, yes. I'm saying that we could see the 10-year treasury in 6 months at 3.6. Yes. The spreads would narrow because of rate cuts, the margin in rates decreases, and also if you see unemployment rise, you'll see that margin also decrease. No, it's, I would say it is national. All the banks come together on that. Next slide, please. All right, real estate forecast for 2025. So, like any good business, we always want to look ahead. Who is the future generation that's going to prompt buying moving forward? We'll go back in time and look at the baby boomers first. The current age is 60 to 78, and about 71 million is the population. Current home ownership rate is 74%, so almost 3/4. When baby boomers bought when they were 30, 48% of them owned. By the time they bought when they were 40, 65% of them owned. If we look at Gen X, that generation is between 44 and 59. Population is 65 million. And when they bought at 30, about 42% owned. And then when 40, 59%. Now we're focused on millennials. This is going to be the catalyst in the wave moving forward for home buying, for your first-time home buyers and your mover uppers. Current age, 28 to 43. Population, biggest demographic pool, 73 million, and the homeownership rate is 45%. By the time they were 30, 33% of them owned, and by the time they were 40, 55% of millennials owned. Then we got Gen Zers. Most of them are still in middle school and high school, but we got to count them as well because they're going to be a big buyer population. There's 69 million of them, and their current homeownership rate is 8%. Give me a click. Thank you. A couple more. Couple more. Couple more. All right. Now, if we're looking at millennials, because they're going to be the driving force moving forward for a lot of home purchases, there's 73 million of them. Median age is 35. If anybody was asking, I'm only 31. And the homeownership rate is 45%. Millennials are a median age of 30, so that's 40 million total. Homeownership rate is that 33% like we talked about. If we take in the next 10 years where that homeownership rate could rise, it goes from 33% to 55% or 8.5 million new homeowners in an already tight market. If we look at Gen Z, there's 69 million total. Median age is 20. Homeownership rate is 8. Next click. However, if we look at the next 10 years, that goes from 8% to 33% or 17 million new homeowners already in a tight market. So these are going to be big pools coming in to buy homes in a tight market. Next slide, please. Let's talk about that demand to supply. So right now, demand 1.9 and some change, supply about 1.3 million. So we're underserved in housing about 500,000. And as these demographics come more mature, they're ready to buy, that is going to be more difficult to purchase a home. We're going to see more bidding wars and prices increase. Next slide, please. All right, so what are we forecasting? Total 2025 home appreciation around 4 to 4.5%. Our inflation rate currently at 2.8%. Could see that come down to 2.1, 2.2%. Lower inflation, lower mortgage rates, really good. The Fed wants to see target 2%. Unemployment could go to 4.5 to 4.6. Currently it's at 4.2. Federal funds rate's probably going to be between 3.25, 3.5%, depending on unemployment. And mortgage rates could decline to 5.75 to 6% from 7%. So things should be getting better. Congratulations, survived until 2025. I think it's going to be a great year. Thank you.
Okay, I think that is it. So we have, this graph shows you when our next sales meetings are going to be and where. We're going to continue to take the show on the road. So next month we'll be in West Portland. In March we'll be in Albany and then Yamhill and Fremont. We'll try and make it to all of the offices throughout the course of the year. Here's my recommendation for you. Take a picture of this, please. Plan your month accordingly. If you've never been to our Bend office, come and check out our beautiful office right in downtown Bend and take a bunch of business cards with you and pass them out to all the agents in Bend who might have a buyer or a seller to refer you to in Portland, who you might want to refer somebody who's looking to buy a home in Sun River to there. Okay? The point of why we're doing this is networking, giving you an opportunity to get exposure to all of our beautiful offices and all of the various locations and to network with your other PPG agents from around the state and around our region that we serve so that you can build network and referral opportunities. So with that, I think that's it, isn't it? Oh, one more announcement. We're going to be closed tomorrow for our staff offsite. So we will be out and the offices will be available to you by electronic keypad, but our staff people will all be at Kennedy School. So thank you all again for being here. I do think that's it. Yep. Thanks for being the best part of PPG. There's a happy hour in the back. Please stay and pass out some business cards to each other and get to know each other a little better. Thanks again.